Good evening. Today we are here to celebrate the music of the organ, of our Skinner organ, and the legacy that this instrument's influence continues to create even after 100 years. When in our music God is glorified and adoration leaves no room for pride, it is as though the whole creation cried, Alleluia. We cannot properly recognize the legacy of this Skinner organ without remembering and noticing the strong efforts of the Ladies' Aid Society of Hood Memorial Christian Church. It was the women who had the Skinner Organ Company build the organ for the new brick sanctuary building on the corner of Clinton Avenue and Cumberland Street. And it was the continued efforts of the women, as you'll learn of later, that kept up communication with the Skinner Organ Company and eventually got the organ paid off. So, let us begin our time together this evening by singing How Firm a Foundation, Ye Saints of the Lord, is laid for your faith in God's excellent word. It's hymn number 618. We're going to sing together stanzas 1, 2, and 3. Let's stand. When through the deep waters I've called you to go, the Ladies' Aid Society from a century ago could have given their testimonies of the deep waters they walked. The total cost of our Skinner organ in 1924 was $7,518. And in 1924, that was a significant investment. 100 years later, such an instrument would certainly cost, starting around $110,000. The women sold vanilla, pimento cheese sandwiches, and had rummage sales to cover the debt of the organ. This evening, first, we will hear from Colton Barber, a senior sacred music major at ECU. Colton joined us at Hood as an accompanist in 2018 when he was 15 years old. His mom was still driving him here to rehearsals and to practice. He showed interest in the organ, and one of our members bought him his first pair of organ shoes. And we sent him to Campbell University for organ lessons, and we are so proud of how far Colton has come and that his interest started here. This organ gave him a beautiful way to share his gifts with the world. The Ladies' Aid Society, by way of their treasurer of the time, communicated with the treasurer of the Skinner Organ Company. In 1929, the year the Great Depression began, letters between the treasurers of the Ladies' Aid Society and Skinner Organ Company became more frequent, with earnest pleas and understanding from both sides. It was until 1941 agreement was made between both parties and the organ was paid off. I shared this history with you to share with you how important these women and this church felt that the music that the organ created and the part that it played in its worship was that important to continue to make sure that they were diligent in getting that done. A new music board with a light was installed on the organ in 1954. The organ was rebuilt in 1989. And in the 1948 chimes that you now see on the wall were moved from the organ chamber, which is behind this facade, and put on the wall because the wall had been built. It was not, this wall here was not original, in my understanding. I was not here in 1941. But my understanding is that it was open, it was a balcony, and so then the wall was created and the chimes were put on there then. Elaine Butler is a gem. She served as organist alongside director Murtis Coley, who is Tommy Hawley's aunt, by the way. She was here in the early 2000s and has been back several times to play, including our homecoming of 2018 when Colton first heard the organ here. Welcome, Elaine. in tonight's concert, you're getting a unique flavor that we don't normally get, and it's taken some communication between all of the organists, because you all are, let me just say this, organists like to be private. So we like that we're usually behind or we're in a little corner where people can't see us. And so tonight you are getting, we are being very vulnerable by putting everything we do right up there for you. So you see all the buttons that we're pushing, you see all the keys and pistons that they are having to pull and that kind of thing. So the communication between 4 organists this afternoon to get all that put together has been amazing. So I want to thank all of them for your unique gifts that you bring today. I want you to hear from several of our past organists who couldn't be here today. Beth Justison Van Nortwick is the daughter of Lib Justison, who was one of our oldest living members until her death just a few years ago. Beth shares a memory with us. My Aunt Tootsie Massengill Taylor played this organ. She was Lib's youngest sister. She now lives in Waco, Texas, in a memory care unit, and she just turned 97. Her husband visits every day, and he bought a piano for the Blake where she lives. She still plays the piano for the residents there and is amazing. Preston and Elvira Massengill were her grandparents, some of Hood's first members, and Marvin Harper was her uncle. And from Eddie Wiseman, who was organist in 1981, thank you for the kind invitation. I was the organist there in the late 70s. Kathy Marshall Butler, now Parker, was the choir director then. I have fond memories of my time there. I remember Pete and Jeep Huggins in their choir along with other folks. It was a great experience for a young, beginning organist. Thanks again for thinking of me, and give everyone at Hood Memorial my best wishes. Next, we'll welcome Jim Elmore. Jim, much like Colton, gained a love for organ at a very young age and was fortunate to spend time playing on this Skinner organ as he was learning back in the early 70s. Hear this greeting from Kathy Parker, former music director here. Thank you so much for your kind invitation. 100 years is certainly something worth celebrating, and I know the concert will be amazing. We hope you will continue this evening after we finish downstairs in the fellowship hall of sharing memories. Many of you may have been here before and remember a wedding or remember a different service, special service to you. And we hope that you will share those memories with one another and the special ways that the organ music has impacted you and possibly even your faith journey. Our next organist this evening is Dr. Tom Hawley. Well, Tom didn't serve as organist here. He has been here many times playing the organ. Certainly at a very early age, he was here and listened to the organ and has been back playing the organ for us for many special services. So we welcome Tommy Hawley. So as we're winding down for the evening, I want to remind you or let you know of a couple of upcoming events where the organ will also be used, but special events for this congregation. Along with 100 years of the Skinner organ, we're also celebrating the 100th anniversary of this sanctuary building. And we will celebrate that in October with our homecoming and the 135th anniversary of our church. And that is October 13th, so we hope we will see some of you all back on that Sunday. And then on November 10th, we are celebrating our Veterans Day concert where we will honor the veterans in our community by saying thank you for your service. We will have a beautiful celebration of music and special speakers on that day. That's November 10th. Colton is going to debut a piece for us called Foundation, which we had commissioned for this special occasion. So this is the first time this piece has been played. We thank Reverend Mark Andrist for his gift of this arrangement.
I want to offer a prayer before we leave, if you'll be willing. And I'm going to take a little bit of a privilege. Have a seat for just a minute. I would like Colton and Joni, can we actually sing that as we leave? If you can do it, can you do it with the organ and piano? They're like, we didn't plan that. Y'all, if you've been around this place anytime, you know sometimes we fly with the Spirit. But we'll actually sing the song that's based off. Many of y'all have no idea how much that means to me. My youth minister back in the mid-'90s, probably late 80s, early 90s, I don't remember exactly what year, wrote this piece of music that we sang at the end of every service growing up at Woodhaven Baptist Church in Apex, North Carolina. And when Joni and I got here a little over about 8.5 years ago, we brought it here and began singing it, and it's a tradition that we've had here ever since we've been here. And so that for me was really, really special, Colton. Thank you so much. We'll sing it as we leave and head downstairs for a meal. But I thought that I would show you, if you would like. A lot of people don't realize that the gold pipes you see here, them suckers ain't real. Those are just for show. What you don't realize about the organ is all the pipes are behind these gold pipes. And when we first got here, a few years into being here, Joni and I, we had some damage to the organ because of one of the hurricanes that came through. And so what you don't realize is what's all behind this. You can't see it. No one's really seen it. So I thought I'd take a moment just to show you. You have a whole series of pipes that are right behind these gold pipes. This sanctuary was not designed for an organ when it was originally architected. I just made that word up. But what you see behind me actually goes all the way up. And above us is another sort of rounded, if you can sort of see the baptistry here, and it's got a little round sort of cove to it. That's actually above it as well. I suspect that the baptistry was originally probably going to be up higher. And so this is mirrored above it. There are pipes in front of this, which is why this platform was built, in order to house some of these pipes. And then behind it, which would be directly above where the baptistry sits now, there's a whole other series of pipes. And then between that, you know, Tommy or Colton or Jim or Elaine or somebody could probably explain what all this stuff is. But there's a series of doors. What are they called? The swell shades. And so these open and close, and that helps to offer different sounds and volumes and whatnot. And so you can actually, in this picture, you can see this is behind those swell shades. This would be directly above the baptistry here. Several of the pipes there, and there's more behind these. But I just thought I'd show you a few pictures so that you can actually see what's been played on. But if I guess about 6 or 7 years ago, Hurricane Matthew came through, and we had some roof damage. These pipes are even behind what I just showed you. Colton or somebody could probably, Tommy, somebody could probably tell you exactly what all these pipes are and what the different sounds that they make. And we actually had to have all the pipes in the section that I'm showing you now removed. We had to have the ceiling completely repaired, and then all of the pipes come and placed back in. But this gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the gorgeous pipes that are back behind that you don't really get to see on a normal basis. And it was when we had all the pipes pulled out, we literally had them laying all over the floor upstairs and different seats and pews placed in. And we had to have them stored for a while the ceiling was fixed. Then there's a little bit of the damage. You can just see what the hurricane did to the organ pipes. They were cluttered with plaster that had fallen from the ceiling. And thanks to one of our wonderful members, Joe Coates, and his son, they were able to repair that roof for us. But you can see the kind of damage that we had back. When was this journey? About 2017 or 18? Yes. So it is a very, and you think, what are those? They're wooden pipes. There's a lot of wooden pipes that give that beautiful sound. There's some of the damage. But I thought maybe you would enjoy seeing a little bit of what you would not otherwise know. Maybe I can make that go blank now. We are so thankful that you've been here. Music is such an important part of this family of faith. We use the organ in so many creative ways. You may hear it played just as you heard it played. You may hear it with drums and guitars and brass instruments on a Sunday morning. We try to be creative and use this. So many churches, I fear, have gotten sort of, I would say, stuck in their use of organ and don't realize how much different genres of music it can be used for. And gosh, Colton, we had a lot of fun back in those years where you started just experimenting with the different ways that we could use the organ. And so we use it all kinds of different ways and shades here, and we're very excited about that. Do want to remind you again of our Veterans Day concert that's coming up the Sunday before or after Veterans Day, Joni? Before. Also about our 135th homecoming, as Joni mentioned, that'll be on October the 13th. We'll have this instrument played in a wonderful fashion again. And I also want to invite you right after this, I'm going to invite you to stand now, and we're going to sing together. I don't know that we'll get the words on the screen because I didn't plan for all that, but many of our congregants here know this song by heart because we do sing it every Sunday. So can we do it twice so that some folks can get the words and everyone can sing it together? But we have a tradition here, our church family. We stand at the end of the service. We hold hands, or if you're not comfortable with hands, you can lock elbows or just put your arm around somebody's shoulder, and we sing together, "We Are Family." And we're going to allow that to be our closing prayer, because as music unites us and connects us throughout the ages, it reminds us that we are family. We are a family, the family of Jesus, people on mission, a mission possible, salt of the earth, light of the world, servants of we are a family, the family of Jesus, people on mission, a mission possible, salt of the earth, light of the world, servants of love. Go downstairs and enjoy some time of fellowship and snacks with the peace of Christ with you. Thank you for being here this evening. God bless.